Can you imagine a whole island suddenly disappearing from the earth and nobody noticed it until now? Famously known as the Bermeja Island, was once part of the Gulf of Mexico, and it disappeared like it wasn't there at all. People began to question its mystery, and this raised alarming questions. In today's video, we will talk about the vanishing of Bermeja Island and expose some details about its mysterious disappearance, so make sure to watch until the end. Background. Deep in the Gulf of Mexico, there exists a mystery that has baffled sailors, fishermen, and politicians for decades. It is the enigmatic Bermeja, a phantom islet that seemingly vanished from the ocean around the turn of the 21st century. First documented in a Spanish compendium of all the islands in the world in 1539, Bermeja's existence was once undeniably evident, etched clearly on maps and charts dating back to the 16th century. But now, if you take a boat to the coordinates of 22 degrees 33 north, 9122 west, you'll find nothing but empty water and open skies. Despite being precisely located in relation to neighboring islands by notable Spanish cartographers of the 16th century, the island has eluded discovery in a 1997 survey and extensive 2009 study conducted by the National Autonomous University of Mexico. And yet interest in the island continues to grow, fueled by the fact that if it still exists, it would be critical in determining the boundaries for the exploitation rights of oil in Hoyos de Jona and known as donut holes in the Gulf of Mexico. Legend has it that Bermeja's disappearance is shrouded in secrecy and surrounded by conspiracy. Its precise location was given in Espejo de Navegantes by Alonso de Chavez, who described the small island as having a blondish or reddish appearance when viewed from a distance. The question remains, what happened to Bermeja? Was it destroyed by a natural disaster or something more nefarious? Let's find out. The disappearance. Bermeja appeared on historical maps from as early as 1535. However, in a baffling turn of events, the island vanished without a trace in the 1970s, leaving behind a trail of bewildering enigma. Rumors spread like wildfire about what happened to Bermeja Island, but nobody could say for certain. Some say that it disappeared suddenly without warning, while others believe that it slowly sank into the deep, dark abyss of the ocean. Even more mystifying is the fact that in 1857, a U.S. map once again included Bermeja Island, adding another layer of mystery to its story. Some say that it was a mistake, while others believe that it was a sign of something more sinister at play. In the late 1990s, a fishing expedition reported that they were unable to locate the island. However, it had already been missing for 2 decades by then. The Mexican government had even gone searching for it in 1997, but to no avail. It was as if Bermeja Island had vanished into thin air, leaving behind nothing but a trail of questions and wonder. Bermeja Island was known to have measured 80 square kilometers, and it was the starting point for Mexico's 200 nautical mile limit. But now, the Alacranes Islands have taken its place as the determiner of the country's territorial limits. The fact that the island has appeared and disappeared from maps over the centuries only adds to the intrigue surrounding it. Some historians believe that the inclusion of Bermeja Island on early maps was simply a cartographic error, while others suggest that it may have been a deliberate attempt to stake a territorial claim in the region. Regardless of its origins, the disappearance of Bermeja Island has left a void in the history and geography of the Gulf of Mexico that may never be filled. U.S. destroyed the island. Many Mexicans believe that the disappearance of the island was not natural. They say the island was deliberately destroyed or hidden by powerful interests who wanted to exploit its strategic location and potential oil reserves. With billions of dollars at stake, and a complex web of political and economic alliances involved, some believe that the island's disappearance was orchestrated by the United States or other foreign actors who wanted to encroach on Mexico's exclusive economic zone. This theory is especially popular among fishing communities along the coast of the Yucatan, who have witnessed firsthand the environmental and social impacts of offshore drilling. They blame the CIA for destroying the island. It became a source of controversy when negotiations between the governments of Mexico and the United States began in 2008 and 2009 over who had drilling rights to parts of the Gulf of Mexico. The Phantom Island was considered crucial for determining national marine boundaries in the region. Geographer and island specialist Israel Baxen Martinez explains, there were official searches around this time to see if there was some remnant of this island, because the expansion of this zone for Mexico would mean an abundance of oil. Mexico lost rights to a maritime area believed to hold 22.5 billion barrels of oil due to the absence of the Isla Bermeja. While the search for the island continued, rumors began to circulate among fishing communities along the coast of the Yucatan that the island was destroyed deliberately to allow the United States to gain leverage in negotiations over marine territory. However, oil production rates had been dropping since 2004, and despite the continuing global slump in oil demand, oil revenues still contribute significantly to Mexico's export earnings and national GDP. Therefore, the loss of territory to the U.S. represented a significant blow for economic expansion. Despite the allegations of conspiracy, there is no concrete evidence to suggest that Isla Bermeja was deliberately destroyed or obfuscated from the map. There's already a precedent for confusion about the existence of small islets, as in the case of the cartographical inaccuracies appertaining to the Isla de Cedros and the Reveladero Islands southwest of the southern tip of Baja California. Martinez notes that once an entity is mapped, its existence is assumed and replicated without question. In the case of Isla Bermeja, it was not only mentioned in cartographic history, but also has a much larger backlog of studies and a presence in official inventories. Since 2009, there have only been 4 official expeditions to find Bermeja, alongside a handful of journeys by inquiring journalists and the generally curious. In the last decade, TV Azteca and the Natural Autonomous University launched maritime research campaigns to locate the territory, but the missions came to the same conclusions as those sponsored by the government: that the island does not exist and that there are no vestiges of such a body of land in the area. The case of Isla Bermeja reveals an interesting truth about human nature. As Martinez notes, people are jealous of what has been taken away from them, but they refuse to do anything with what they already have. Culturally, there was little interest in the island until it was believed to have been taken away, suggesting that humans tend to care more about what they've lost than what they possess. More theories, but no answer. There are even more theories related to the disappearance of the island. Let's see what people have to say. Some have speculated that the island was swallowed up by natural forces, such as shifting tectonic plates or rising sea levels that have already claimed other remote islands, Hawaii, Japan, and the Arctic. Others have suggested that the island never existed in the first place, and that its presence on early maps was simply a mistake or a hoax by unscrupulous cartographers. Position of the island according to Google Maps. Based on Google Maps data, the island would have been located approximately 100 kilometers northwest of the Yucatan Peninsula in the Gulf of Mexico. Interestingly, this is also the same area where the Mayan train is currently upon construction. The mystery of Bermeja Island remains unsolved to this day, despite several attempts by Mexican authorities and independent researchers to locate it or explain its disappearance. The island has become a symbol of national pride and sovereignty for many Mexicans who demand that their government asserts its right over the disputed area. The island has also inspired various artistic and literary works that explore its possible history and fate. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, the search for Bermeja Island continues to this day. In fact, a BBC podcast documentary recently featured the island, shedding light on its history and disappearance. BBC Mundo's David Quinn went on a search for the island, interviewing experts and examining various theories. The documentary revealed that Bermeja Island was once a critical location for oil and gas exploration in the Gulf of Mexico, and its disappearance has significant implications for territorial boundaries and resource allocation. The loss of the island has also raised concerns about the accuracy and reliability of maps, particularly in the area of digital mapping. Whether Bermeja Island ever existed or not, it has certainly left a lasting mark on the imagination and geopolitics of the Gulf of Mexico. Do you think that the CIA has such power to blow an island off the maps without anyone noticing? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.